I've been needing to do this for a bit of time. Now, my thing is this. Okay, I watch a lot of different content creators. I do. I watch transgender content creators. Sometimes I watch some conservative transgender content creators. I do not like content creators who do the same thing as another, but at the same time will judge another for doing the same thing. That's one thing I will not tolerate in any capacity, because it makes no sense for me to watch that content. It's nonsense, in my opinion. But I do watch people. I watch different types of people. I watch some transgender people. I watch people who are detransition. I watch radfem content creators. I watch detransition people who, for example, are not conservative. They might fall in between. They may even be on the liberal side of things. And some are conservative, I assume. I don't really think any detransitioner that I'm subscribed to really is. Well, actually, a couple are actually religious conservatives, now that I think of it. There's quite a few of them, actually. I just don't watch them as often as I watch. For example, everyone knows my favorite detransitioner is Salty Supervillain, Salty Alti, who was before that Rival Maverick and so forth. And she obviously is not a conservative. I would think she leans more on the other side, I would assume. But she's not like all out crazy on that side either. She seems kind of like in sensible side. Somewhere where I kind of agree. Anyway, where my personal opinions are. But like I said, I associate very easily with like the radfem side of YouTube. And then also I watch some channels that aren't radfem. But they might be similar in message. Like there's this Neil guy that I'm starting to watch some of his content too. I don't think he's rad femme, but I don't know, he has similar beliefs to some of the content creators on the other side of how of some of the content I watch. Anyway, I am not subscribed to Shapeshifter. If you didn't notice, I am not subscribed. These are the two content creators I have had issues with when it comes to this space. Because I feel like this person and another person seem to use certain sectors for their own benefit, in my opinion. They're not honest, is my problem, okay? Like I said, I don't care about your stance as long as your stance is true. The problem is here, I don't feel this is a true stance. And I will get to why I feel that way. And I will explain in both situations why I feel this way. We're going to start with this video. Like I said, with this person, there's some things that they say that I agree with. It's just, I like to follow people's actions and follow their words to see if they are telling me the truth or if they are lying. Anyway, continue.
Florida testimony saying I've been getting, and all these transitioners that were in there, I've been getting so much hate. Not only was it so stressful to go share our experiences when 3/4 of the audience were like supporting of kids transitioning, but it's just difficult to get accused all day long being a Nazi and a fascist and killing trans kids, I guess, and committing genocide of trans women when I know in my heart that like the system is broken and we need like immediate changes to the healthcare. It's like activism really taking a toll on me. But see how other people are staying strong, so I want to stay strong for them. And it doesn't help that my therapist keeps on telling me that I look like a woman and I should retransition and go back to being delusional. And then there's a part of me that still wants to believe that I am a woman because my delusions protected me.
And that's the thing. It's weird to me. This person is saying that they need to retransition. Ma'am, how have you detransitioned? That's what I want to know. Like, you're saying retransition. What do you mean, retransition? In my opinion, it is a little weird. In this sector, I do see some people who belong to more of the radfem side of YouTube and the site that's more critical of some transgender people. And they will refer to this person as a he and say that they're detransitioning. Just because this person will let you call them a he does not mean they're detransitioning. They still have boobs in their chest. They still, they have the makeup and the hair, and they're obviously trying to be perceived as a woman. To me personally, like I said, I do not have an issue with transgender people. I am at least subscribed to 3 transgender people. Like, they're living the life, okay? And I refer to them as she because I don't really care. He, she does not matter to me. Even in my own personal sexuality, he, she does not matter. Sex matters. Now, certain things, the way my mind works and how I see people, is how I see them in my head. I'm not going to, specifically, I don't need to tell transgender people, this is how I see you, this is how I see another person, and the differences. I distinguish people by their sex. I can still call them a he, she, doesn't matter to me. Basically, what I'm trying to explain is that I respect what people want to identify as and what they're presenting themselves out to be. To me, if they're presenting themselves out to be like this, they want to be called a she, obviously. So why are they trying to say it's okay to call them a he? You have to wonder. She specifically is saying here that she wants to be a woman, and she thinks it's delusions, but she appreciates embracing the idea that she's a woman. So obviously, that right there lets you know this is not a detransitioner. I mean, I am subscribed to more detransitioners than I am transsexuals, honestly. I have several detransitioners I follow, male and female. Just different kinds of people that are detransitioned that I follow regularly. And they don't still continue to present as, they don't still try to look like men, if they're actually detransitioning to female or the other way around. They do not do that. They literally try to look like what they were born as females, or males. So it tells you that this person's actions are showing what they want to be, okay? This person is saying they don't want to be a man. They like to embrace their delusions, supposed delusions, of being a woman. I guess you could say they're delusions. Let's be honest. They are not a female by sex. But to me, the fact of transsexuality and it having to do with some kind of mental delusion or illness or disorder has nothing to do with my life, one, and it doesn't really have much to do with the situation to me. It's just like, well, what do they want to do about this? If they decide that this is the way they want to be, that's the way they decide to be. They don't have to be calling them any, they don't have to call themselves a man or a woman. This is just to me, I don't really think it's that important. Why is it that important if they call themselves a man, if they are biologically male? What does it do for anyone in society? The only people that care about that kind of stuff are the people who specifically are uncomfortable, basically. Like, they're uncomfortable with someone who is biologically male calling themselves a she. That's the only people who care about this. But does this really affect anybody? It affects nobody. What affects people is when these type of people go into our bathrooms and, they cause danger for us. That's a problem. When they start trying to have competitive sports and try and fight us and crack our skulls, crack women's skulls, that is a problem. Those are problems. But whether this person wants to say they're a he or she is not going to affect me. Now, anyway, continue.
And now I realized that it was all a lie. It almost like at first affected my relationship with my parents as well, because they want me to be a woman, they want me to get married off to Catman, but my therapist doesn't think I should marry Catman. And how can I detransition when part of me still feels delusional? I want to slip back into delusions. Like, I have split personalities. There's a part of me wants to be delusional, I guess, and keep on living my life as a fake woman. I don't know. You guys don't understand. Like, I get so many messages telling me why I have not detransitioned yet. But what they really meant is my outer parts. I don't understand how it is to be like on a new hormone you haven't had in your body for years, and nobody can understand like all of the shit that transitioners go through. We get so much hate. We get called grifters.
That's the thing. I do not consider this person. I do not consider detransitioners grifters. Like, I follow many transitioning people, many, and I don't consider them grifters. They're just people who detransitioned, but they never look like this. They never present themselves like this. This is clearly a person who is, in one capacity trying to be a person who is basically this person is trying to be perceived as someone who is, transgender. That's just the truth. This person is trying to be perceived as a woman. That's why it seems like grifting. That's why some people ask, when are you going to transition? It's because, look at you. Does this look like someone who's trying to be perceived as a man? No. So, actions speak louder than words. And my thing is, like I said, I don't care if this person wants to live their life as a woman. Go ahead, do it. I don't care. That doesn't affect me. What bothers me is not being honest. When you're not honest, I can't trust anything that's coming out of your mouth because your words are not aligning with your actions. And that's what makes it a grifter, not just detransitioning. Detransitioners, I follow several detransitioners. I follow Aaliyah, I follow Salty Supervillain, I follow Elle Palmer, I follow who else? Cat. I follow a lot of different people. Okay, I follow a lot of different detransitioners. Just to name 4, there's a 5th one that I'm Courtney. Courtney's another one that I follow. I follow a lot of different detransitioners. That's 5, and there's plenty of others. Like, if you look through my subscriptions, I have plenty of detransitioners I follow. That's a normal occurrence for me. I follow more detransitioners than I follow radfem. I follow more detransitioners than specifically like those who talk about transgender issues in the conservative wing, if that's all they talk about. Now, if we're talking about conservative channels, I do follow more conservative channels than detransition because I'm a conservative. So, But my thing is, like I said, with this whole situation is, I follow a lot of detransition people. Many of them are not grifters. But this is someone who's saying one thing and living their life a different way, which to me means grifting. Anyway, continue.
It's difficult to be ahead of your time. It is. But I am here for cis kids. I'm here for gender non-conforming kids. I'm here for kids who've been through things and experiencing dysphoria. And hopefully, I want people to find other ways to help dysphoric children. If you want to save trans kids as soon as possible, come out with specific definition what is trans and start applying gatekeeping to save real trans kids. That's what I'm thinking. I feel like if I'm gonna keep on doing this activism thing, I want to be able to help people with dysphoria and use drugs and surgeries as very extreme last step thing, not something that should be glorified and easily available to anybody who just falls under trans umbrella.
I would say that last part of what she just said, I agree. I definitely agree here. Because I do think that being transgender, I don't feel is something that should be celebrated in the sense of the medication and the surgeries. Why would we celebrate that? I don't think we should on females, okay, on males, whoever it is. I don't really think we should celebrate when a woman gets breast implants, even. Because what are we telling that woman? That her breasts were not good enough, right? Same thing with the transgender person. We're telling them that they're not good enough in their natural body. And it's so good that they change because now they're finally good enough. That's why I don't think that we should ever celebrate cosmetic surgery or any surgery like that of that nature. That's not specifically needed for your health. I don't think you should have that as a celebrated component, but I think that everyone has a right to do it. And I do think you should be, 18 for you to be able to agree to these surgeries. I honestly think that one thing, though, when we are talking about transgender kids and stuff, you're fighting for those kids, but there's a lot of intersex kids that have the same problems, and doctors are giving them medication, hormones that they didn't agree to because they're kids. They're having surgeries done to them because they're kids and they're not old enough, they're not 18, so they can't make that decision. So to me, it's sometimes I feel like people are so concerned about transgender kids because they feel like they're the perfect kids and they were born perfect, and you don't need to fix what's perfect. But to me, everyone was born the way they should have been born, right? So why not just say, love your body for what your body is, regardless of if it's male, female, or intersex? That's my perspective on that. But I do agree with what she's saying on those bases. So, like I said, there are some points that I do agree with this lady on. Anyway, let's continue to this video, because this was a very interesting video here. I have 3 videos that I want to show of this lady, shapeshifter. It's taking a moment. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the commercial.
Hi everyone. So there's a lot going through my mind. I'm trying to unpack all my feelings, everything that has happened to me within the last decade, specifically within the last 6 months. I realize I'm very mentally ill, and I have been, I guess, for most of my life, but more so now.
Yeah, and there's another thing about this. This person has said that she's been diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. And I would say people with that condition tend to try to seek sympathy out of people. And I feel that detransition might attract a person like her who wants sympathy out of people to mold people. Because that's how they mold people sometimes, is through people's sympathy and weakness towards them. My thing is, I just don't get why certain people in certain sectors, like for example, slightly twisted female and so forth, like people like that will try and support people like this. And I just don't understand. What are you thinking when you're looking at this person? I mean, you really think, well, I guess maybe in that case, because she was one of those type of people who literally thought biological women were men. So maybe she does think that this person is really trying to pass herself off as a man looking like this. I mean, like, it's quite obvious that there's an element of manipulation with antisocial personality disorder. This is obvious manipulation, honestly, because you're trying to say that you were detransitioning. You were trying to present yourself that way for months. This person has a video back 9 months ago, and this is 8 months before this video, basically, trying to say they were detransitioning, trying to say they were taking testosterone. But you can tell this person clearly is presenting themselves as a woman. And they're not trying to get their breast implants out. They're not trying to do anything. It's just like, I don't get it. I really don't. It's like, how is this person detransitioning? Everything I followed this person for like a couple months, and all I ever saw was this person consistently trying to talk about the things that detransitioners talk about, talking the same talking points as a lot of those who are against transgender people say, basically, and basically trying to fill that, I think, platform and that void, because this person's channel was a lot smaller before they started trying to talk about detransitioning and all that stuff. I think that that's a major thing that helped grow this person's channel. And this is a common thing that I noticed with another person's channel as well. These people seem to have used detransition to grow their channels, but do they really believe what they actually say? I don't. I think there's elements for both individuals where they don't believe what they actually say. Anyway, continue.
It is hard to realize that so many medical doctors, so many people in my immediate circle, such as like friends and family, or people that I thought were my friends, let this kind of happen to me. Nobody told me that, hey, what are you doing? Like, these are experimental, dangerous surgeries. Like, you're risking your life, you're risking your sexual functionality. Like, it was just a little crazy to comprehend that and to let that sink in. And it's just something I wasn't really like adding up in my mind. I think it's because my mind didn't want to add it up to just really face the reality of what happened. And because of that, it is a lot to unpack. I'm actually disinvited my family from holidays because I just feel like my aunt, first of all, betrayed me. She sent my YouTube channel to my parents, which is like, what the hell? Why would you do that? You know what I mean? It's like they know I had the surgery and they know I had complications, but I didn't want my parents to see my channel until I was ready for it, you know? But now I'm outed and doxed, I guess, by my own family. So I just can't forgive my aunt. I feel like my family has distanced themselves from me in a way, and
Hey, I'm going to let you in on a tip about how to
Too
find
many commercials. Let me get rid of it.
sensitive information on almost anyone with just their name.
I thought they were my best friends, but I'm rethinking if they are. So I need time to process everything. That's why this holidays, it's gonna be just me, my sugar daddy, and Catman. So it's gonna be the first holiday without my family, I guess, or with such a small circle, I should say. And it is kind of heartbreaking. I have also come to realize that detransition is kind of bullshit because in my case, it's not really possible. I look at other detrans men and some of them are cool playing yet another dress up, you know, wearing flannel shirts and cutting hair and acting like all masculine, like I'm a dude now. I think definitely a lot of detrans men have been portrayed in media, which they barely got any coverage. It's all about, you know, saving eggs and fertility of women. And I mean, I get it. It's very important for a lot of groups to save fertility of women for future generation with, you know, population in US being on decline as it is. You know, we're also going to lose some people to testosterone. And unnecessary surgeries, in my opinion. But, you know, certain groups have their own agenda and they only care about certain storylines. That's what I've come to realize, and I'm going to go into depths more on that in other videos. I also realized me belonging to a certain group kind of stifled me.
So, as far as the detransition, you would think that this, by this person saying that people would understand that this person is not detransitioned. But no, I literally heard 2 content creators call this person detransition, and then a third. One person I thought, well, maybe you could discount what they were saying because they seem like something's off with them. Specifically, another person was a part of, I think she's more alongside the radfem side of YouTube, I would say. Slightly twisted female was one of them, and then there was another one that specifically tried to refer to this person as detrans. I don't get it. This person literally says detransition is impossible. That this person is going to stay a transsexual. So this person is identifying as a woman. If they are saying that detrans is impossible, then what are they saying? They are saying they're going to stay a transsexual. They're going to stay a trans woman. They are a woman, and I mean, it would be pretty typical to refer to this person as a she, not really a he. Obviously not someone who's detransitioning. They specifically are saying they're throwing in the towel on this. So it's kind of weird to me that a lot of different content creators will refer to this person still as detransition. It's like this person isn't detransitioned, and it's weird why people try to say that. Now, it's also interesting. I think it's like one of those situations where, like, you know, I used to talk about certain people in certain sectors where they'll be a part of one sector, but they'll basically use the talking points of another sector. I mean, that's how my channel got a little bit more notoriety in the first place, anyway, if you know what I'm talking about. If you pay attention to how this person's videos are, much of their content, well, besides their sugar daddy dying, or I don't know if he's dead yet. Yeah, I don't think he's dead yet, from what I'm reading here. But they'll probably put that in later. But most of the content that is shown out here, besides what's going on with her sugar daddy, is seeming along the lines of talking points that a lot of people who have a view towards transgender people, the procedures, and so forth, negatively, critically, I guess you could say. They like, I guess, that type of content. So they like what she has to say on that, but that doesn't make her detrans. And it's so weird that people try to still associate her with detrans. Call it what it is. If she's critical, she's critical. There's a lot of transgender people on YouTube that are critical of many different aspects of transsexual surgeries or procedures for children, especially. There's a lot of transgender people who are open and out about the fact that they don't want children to transition. So, I mean, like, this is nothing new. Anyway, continuing.
Default me, whatever the word is. I feel like being part of the tribe comes at a cost, and like you can't say certain things because your friends may not agree. And I just realized none of those people are my friends. Everybody is out for themselves. Everybody is grifting their way wherever it gets them, you know. And I realized that's how it always been. None of the surgeons, none of those people were actually ever on my side. And I don't think even my parents were on my side ever.
Yeah, in her own way, she's saying she's grifting, but yeah, she only
I think my
slightly
parents
said
just
that and
wanted
she didn't catch
me to
it.
be a certain way so they can be proud of me for certain accomplishments, or they right off the bat were disappointed in me just because I wasn't a stereotypical man. So I just feel very let down by everyone. And I don't know, I still kind of feel kinship with detransitioners, and I will keep on amplifying detrans voices. Whoever wants to come on my channel and tell their story. I'm keeping my lizard. I've earned it by going to Florida. I did have a detrans experience, but I've come to conclusions that in my case, the transition is not possible. And I think in my case, it is bullshit. It's just going to be more dress up. I know some men are excited to spend more money trying to get phalloplasty from this doctor, that doctor, and they're hopeful. But I kind of been through that stage with vaginoplasty, you know, when I did spend years hoping to fix it, and I've come to conclusions that nobody can and nobody wants to help me, you know. And it's just like there's so much more I want to talk about that I've learned during this detransitioning experience or attempting to detransition. But I think I'm going to keep my video short. I'm going to try to pause more laterally and just unpack my feelings. I realize I don't trust medical system, and I don't know, I don't trust my therapist, I don't trust medications after being through medical trauma called gender affirming care. I don't know how I'm going to survive. I'm just going to take it one day at a time. I'm going to try to vlog my thoughts, who I am. I've realized something inside of me, like a light went out.
Oops, what happened?
Their content or their behavior in the past or future. I want to stay out of drama, and it's the best way to do it. I'm not friends with any of these people. Do not DM me. Again, that's it. I feel like some men are trying to chat me up, and then the conversation turns into like Blair White and her boyfriend. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, it's like it just kind of gets gross and like inappropriate, and it's just like, if you're not going to see me as my own person outside of labels, outside of like people I collabed with, I love going on other channels and talking to people, and I like them coming on my channel, but
That's how I see Shapeshifter. To me, Shapeshifter isn't any different than Blair. Or like those type of transsexuals who are like, not completely, of course, but like the kind that they'll say some stuff that other transsexuals will have issues with or find kind of goes against the grain of what a lot of transsexuals believe or try to push. Personally, I can tolerate shapeshifter a lot more than those type of transsexuals because, like I said, do not try to tell me that what you do is okay, but what others do when they do the same as you is wrong. Makes no sense to me. Don't tell me about how you can pass or you look like a woman more than someone else. Please do not tell me that, because that's just perception, and you don't even know if I see you as a woman. So, how are you going to say that? Like, how are you going to say someone looks like a woman, someone looks like a man? That's a matter of personal perception. So, that to me, I don't like that. But I'm just saying that these people have, how to explain it? Like, opinions that kind of go against what people tend to think a lot of transgender influencers seem to say. That's what I'm trying to say with shapeshifter. Is, to me, that doesn't mean she's detransition. She's still a trans woman. That's just what she is, okay? And that's just how it is. I don't have anything against that. I just don't like the presentation of how others present this person, and how this person is just not straightforward enough, in my opinion. If they were more straightforward in the idea that they are a trans woman and they want to express how they feel about a specific issue, I could listen to them. It's just that they're not straightforward. If you are a trans woman, just say it. If that's what you're trying to make people view you as and perceive you as in the world, then that's just what you are trying to do. I know you would get a lot of heat from the platform that you created, but that's what you put yourself into. And this is what I find with this one and the other one, where they put themselves in these environments where they might have a following that still tries to see them as a man, because that's how you presented yourself. And then you will have an issue with the kind of following you have, to the point where you're trying to say that you're not going to detransition, but at the same time, you're still trying to entertain that sector that would basically encourage you to detransition. How does that even work? You see how that's such a dichotomy, and how, as a content viewer, not a content creator, I mean, I am a content creator, but as a content viewer, I cannot take this seriously. How can I take this seriously when you are talking out of two sides of your mouth? Make your platform consistent, and I would very willingly and happily watch your content. That's the thing. I don't like inconsistencies. I don't like inconsistencies in your argument, like I said, with people who say like that others do wrong but they do the same thing, or people like you who will try and say you're trying to basically talk for a specific sector. As you can see in her content, she specifically talks for a specific type of following, but is still a trans woman. You can't be a trans woman and still trying to sing and dance the same kind of dance and song as someone who is detransitioning. That's not being authentic. Continue.
Just because I went on somebody's channel that been on my channel, we took a picture together, does not mean we're friends. Like, I do not have friends. I'm a very mentally ill person. You can watch my content if you want. You can, like, you don't have to watch it if you don't like it. You know what I mean? That's all I have to say for now. Yeah, I mean, it's important for me again to say that detransition is not possible in my case, and I don't want. It is all about kids. That's what the whole movement has come down to. People can say whatever they want. They can be as misogynist as they want. They can be as homophobic as they want to, as long as they say it's for kids. Somebody like Andrew Tate can say all kinds of bullshit and just say, well, it's for kids, and I get it. So it's just like, but just for kids, I'm telling you, because I don't want some parents transitioning their kids and thinking that, well, if they don't like their transition versions, they can always detransition later. No, a lot of times you're not going to be able to undo the damage of puberty blockers and hormones and surgeries. That's all. Bye.
So, yeah, I can understand. This person, like I said, I have watched not a content creator, but this was a documentary about two people who had detransitioned and one person who hadn't, and they were having some of their issues with transitioning and how they were not happy with transitioning. The person who was not detransitioned, who was talking and moaning about transitioning, obviously did not detransition. So obviously detransitioning was a worse idea than transitioning. So life as a trans woman is better than as a man. And I said that with that person. If anything, it's just a grab for attention. It's not really legit because you're not even living the life. You have to pay attention to actions. It's not about what someone says, it's about what they do. And no one can take this person very seriously when you're talking about, oh, it's so bad to transition. Put your transition. You are transitioned. So how is it so bad to transition, sweetie? Obviously it's not. At least from your lens it's not. Because if it was so bad to transition, you could just go back and detransition. But no, you think it's worse. Now, let's go to the last one I wanted to talk about here.
I'm getting a lot of messages. People ask me if they should detransition. And the short answer is yes. The long answer, it depends. So, yes, it's not healthy to take hormones that are not natural to your body, throwing your endocrine system out of balance, getting surgeries that all carry risks. Even just facial surgeries have been done longer than genital surgeries. I don't know, have facial surgeries been done longer? I'm not 100% sure about hysteroplastic surgeries. I wonder if they teach that in school. Imagine going to school and taking, like, I don't know, hysteroplastic surgeries 101. That'll be interesting. I mean, I definitely don't want to take that class because I'm so turned off from the whole plastic surgery industry. Kind of, at some point, I'm going to have to get more body modification surgeries. But, yeah, if it depends where you are in your transition, and also where were you starting and what are you detransitioning into. Okay, so if you are a straight woman that thought you're a man and
Snap your W-2 and file Fed and State for free. Simple tax returns only. See if you qualify.
Hey, it's your dry skin. Help me stay hydrated and healthy looking all day with CeraVe facial moisturizing lotions.
if you detransition, you're going to be a straight woman. If your voice hasn't changed yet, I mean, if you can still pass as a woman, I think your life will be better than as a trans man who is trying to date other gay men, because most of gay men want penis, and unfortunately with technology we have right now, you cannot get a functional phallus. That's just reality. Yes, you're gonna find some men that are into you, even with your vagina. Obviously, we have Buck Angel. He was very successful in porn, and we have a lot of trans men that are, successful in their relationships. You will still find love, but as a straight woman, you will definitely have more options. That's just real reality when it comes to like finding a partner and being a trans man. And that's just reality. This is not hate, it's just numbers game, it's just statistics. If you are a lesbian woman that transition to a man wants to detransition, it won't be, I guess, as easy. That's one thing I don't have many comments on, because obviously that's not really my experience, and even logically I don't know how to approach it. From what I've seen in detrans community, media loves straight women detransitioning, so you'll definitely be more uplifted if you're straight. Regardless, like if you're straight, you just get more privileges in society. If you're a straight man who has autogynephilia and you've been getting euphoria boners, when you're cross-dressing, you definitely have a fetish. You're not a woman, I'm sorry.
This is one of the things that's really confusing to me with this person. She seems to not be aware that most trans women are attracted to women. I know she's attracted to men, but she's in the minority. Most trans women are either bisexual or lesbian. And then the smaller portion of the sexuality is lesbians. Straight trans women. So I don't know why she doesn't know this. Continue, though.
You can engage with your fetish. You don't need to engage with your fetish in public. You can still enjoy your euphoria boner, gender euphoria boner, in privacy or with people that want to engage with that type of deal. I feel like you're literally the most privileged out of everyone. You're a straight man, so when you're transitioning, you're giving up that privilege, and especially if you don't pass, then a lot of people are not going to even know that you're a straight man transitioning. They're just going to think you're a gay dude cross-dressing, because every time a man cross-dresses, majority of people are going to assume you're gay. They're going to sing the sissy word right away. They don't know about straight men transitioning. So if you haven't had any surgeries and you're a straight man who just attempting to transition.
No, I don't think that often at all. I understand that most trans women are actually attracted to women. I think it's an old stereotype that some trans women are just gay men. And this might be the case for you, but it's not the case for the majority of trans women. Reason why it's not is because the majority of trans women aren't only attracted to men. So they definitely weren't gay men before they transitioned. They were either bisexual or straight. So, you should know the statistics. Anyone can look up the statistics on sexuality for trans women, and you're going to find the majority are attracted to women. Anyway, continue.
I think detransition would be good for you. It also depends how far you've gone in your transition. If you're a woman and you've been transitioning for a while and your voice is already deep and you're already if you start detransitioning, you're gonna look like M2F, so that puts you at a higher risk. And a few detransitioners have spoken on that. People hate the most gender nonconforming men / trans women. So it's if you're perceived, it honestly, oftentimes perceptions are more important than the reality. I know,
For one, that's one thing. This person is trying to come up with reasons why she wants to stay living as a woman. You don't have to try and disparage other women for living as women. You do not have to do that simply because you want to explain to people why you want to be a woman. You could just say that you want to be a woman and leave it alone. But instead, you're trying to disparage detransitioning women and saying that they seem like they're M to F, which I swear, I follow a lot of detransitioning women, and they are beautiful women. I don't think anyone's thinking that they are male to female. Honestly, there's more to being detransitioned male to female than the voice. There's a lot of females who have lower voices, but there's not a lot of females that wear a wig and have male facial structure or hand structure and so forth. When you look at someone's overall bone structure, usually if that person has male structure through their body, regardless of how they sound, they usually are part male, maybe intersex, or trans. That's just the way it is. Anyway, just pointing that out. Continue.
Just hear me out. I just feel like if people are gonna sing you're a man transitioning into a woman, that's gonna put at a higher danger than ever before. It's gonna put you even at more risk than if you were just a tomboy or a masculine woman. So you just have to understand that if detransition gonna put you in a position where you'll never pass as a woman, and a lot of people are gonna perceive, even if you're a biological woman, if people perceive you as M to F, that's gonna reduce your quality of life. It's gonna put you at more danger.
And that's what I mean about some people with the mentality of, I guess I'm fine, like I said, with transgender people, this is how I see it. If you care what society thinks of you, that's you. But what other people do, you can't judge what they do and say that society's going to treat you like this, so you shouldn't do this. You should mind your own business and go by basically being a follower and, do what society wants you to do, whatever that is, whatever you think that is. If that's being a woman, if you feel society wants you to be a woman and you're comfortable being a woman, and this is your excuse for wanting to be a woman, then go ahead and do it. That's my perspective. I don't care if this person lives as a woman. I think we should just be honest. This is a trans woman. And, you shouldn't have to have all these explanations, but this is what this person is doing. She's literally trying to give explanations as to why she's a trans woman in a space that she created for her platform for mainly detransition and people of like-minded positions. Continue.
I'm just saying that's just reality. Also, if you already had surgeries, especially the bottom surgery, it is irreversible. So, I don't know what detransition would mean in your case. As much as you want to detransition, it will just be, again, appearance-based. You're not getting back your original self. You're not. Even if you pump yourself with estrogen and testosterone, it's just not going to be the same as testicles or ovaries regulating your hormones. It's just, the transition is impossible. I've made a video about it. Go check it out. In certain cases, it's just not possible, But if you're early in your transition, if you socially transitioned, if you took hormones a little bit, but you haven't seen major changes, I would recommend you transitioning simply because I don't believe it's worth risking your health for aesthetic purposes. Now let's talk about feminine men, which is, I can talk a lot about it. So, yes, this is going to be unpopular opinion and people are going to hate me for this possibly, but if you do transition, quote unquote, and feminize yourself, your dating pool will increase and people will treat you better if you pass, and people think you're a woman and not a cross-dressing dude or a drag queen. They will absolutely treat you better, and that will create more of gender euphoria, but it's not coming really from within. It's just the way society treats you. It will feel like you upgraded and leveled up in life. But if you're not gonna pass, people are still gonna see a man in a dress, and it's honestly could be worse than if you're just a gay dude, who's not cross-dressing. So that's just reality of it. And if you're already transitioned, detransitioning could reduce the mental health. Even if you're not changing your appearance, I've experienced that recently. If you just even go on social media and try telling everyone on your OnlyFans or you're following on Twitter or wherever you are at, and even if you don't change your appearance and you still look very female, if you tell people you're a man and you just market yourself as a man to your dating pool and whatever, your OnlyFanners, it will turn people off, because a lot of people who are attracted to you, they want you to identify as a woman, because a lot of them are homophobic, and you like just calling yourself a girl and a woman, it's kind of fits into their fetish and makes them feel better about their attraction to you. So it will absolutely turn a lot of people off, you know, I feel like, and I experienced that. So yeah, you actually could downgrade in society, and it will definitely affect your mental health. And unlike other detransitioner, trans men are not treated as nicely in detrans community. Whether you're detransitioning as a straight man, people will call you AGP and like make fun of you. Not everyone. I mean, I had straight men detransitioners on my channel. I'm friends with them. I don't agree with demonization of all AGPs, which stands for men without a gynephilia. If you're homosexual man detransitioning, that's honestly, we don't have that much representation, and that's a demographic that's probably treated the worst. I guess I wouldn't say they're treated the worst in the trans community, but there will definitely be, you won't get as much support from media, and it depends. I guess I've been lucky that I've gotten support. Like, I appreciate everyone's support, but it's just like, you're gonna go back to being a gay man, and that's like the worst thing in society. And it's just the way it is. Like, gay men that are feminine or gender non-conforming are the lowest on the totem pole in the society, where the most disposable, the most hated, the more at risk of getting killed. Some of us got repackaged into trans woman, and now transgender woman is using that as like kind of to claim victimhood. You know, they're always saying that Black trans women are at highest risk for being killed, but it's really Black gender non-conforming feminine men, you know, that's, I mean, slash trans woman, like whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I don't know, I hope this video will help someone to figure out if the transitioning is worse to them. Overall, I feel like you can buy back your health, and sometimes being treated better in society as an illusion of a woman is not worse losing your health due to cross-sex hormones or surgeries. Even putting implants in, it's not safe. It can give you breast implant illness. It can have so many issues down the line. Even if you didn't have issues right away, a lot of people report issues down the line. I had issues with my breasts years down the line, and even FTMs who initially had no issues with their double mastectomy are now having issues like 7, 8, 10 years later. So just be careful. So yeah, again, if you took your transition too far, detransition may not be even an option for you. So, but if you're still early in your transition, I would recommend detransitioning, depending what your goals are in life. And I don't know if aesthetics are the most important to you, then over your health, over dating pool, over everything else, to look certain way is the most important, then I guess maybe detransition is not great.
So, basically, if you paid attention closely enough, many of the things that this person is bringing up are the reasons why they think detransitioning is not right for them. So then why can't they just openly say they're a trans woman who specifically has these views? Why are you trying to shift yourself into the detransition section? Why are you still trying to be in that space? Why are you still trying to get that audience? Leave that audience alone. Just speak from your position. What's your position as a trans woman who is dissatisfied with some of the surgeries done to you, but you still feel that being a trans woman is better than being a man? You're saying it here very fully. You know, you're explaining that as a gay man, you were not treated well. That's why you keep thinking of homosexuality, because the way you were treated as a homosexual was not favorable. You know, that, and the fact that, you know, you are constantly trying to say that it's too far gone, so you don't want to detransition. So my thing in this whole situation is just, you know, I just would like this person to be honest. And since they can't be honest, that's why the button has to be subscribe and not subscribed. Because this individual is just not truthful, in my opinion. If you're truthful, you live by what you're saying. And we can visibly see you're not. We can see in this video you're not. But yet you still have content that you're trying to push on your channel that is in line with people who do not agree with transgender, the choice of being transgender, like transitioning your body and so forth. But you continue to perpetuate your body as being transgender and presenting yourself as a woman. So it's like weird to me. And for the people who support her, I just don't understand it. You want to say that people like this are guys, and she's comfortable with you calling her a guy, but she's not doing a damn thing to show that she's detransitioned. She's not doing a damn thing that shows she actually doesn't like living as a woman. She loves living as a woman, even after all those botched surgeries. So I just find this very weird to me. It's like she's obviously a trans woman who's just dissatisfied with a couple surgeries. Which, I mean, I have all the sympathy for all the bad surgeries that happened to her. But that's not going to change the fact that she's still a trans woman. Let's call it what it is. So that's all I have to say in this video. I'm going to be done. I just feel like this person is just not very honest on the issue. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye.